My friend, if you are to rise above the ordinary, if you are to seize that which others call impossible, then there is one principle you must master with unwavering discipline. You must learn to act as if nothing bothers you. The man who can remain calm in the face of adversity is the man who will be remembered when others have long been forgotten. Poise is not simply a trait of personality. It is a tool of power, a force of silent domination that does not shout but commands. The world bends, slowly but surely, to those who do not flinch when storms rise, to those who do not allow their spirit to be shaken by the trembling voices of the fearful. Every truly successful man, every woman who has carved a path through mountains of difficulty, has done so with a composure that defied logic. When others panic, they plan. When others rage, they reflect. When others quit, they breathe and continue. This is not an accident. This is not a lucky trait of temperament. This is deliberate. This is practiced. This is learned. The average man allows his emotions to rule his day. His joy or sorrow depends entirely on external events, the words of others, the behavior of friends, the markets, the weather, the news. But the one who would build something lasting, the one who would climb above the average, must cut these strings and become the master of his own presence. Poise is not a reaction to life. It is a chosen state of being, regardless of what life throws at you. Think of a leader. Think of the kind of person to whom others look when they are unsure. That person is not the one who yells the loudest or moves the fastest. It is the one who is still in mind, still in speech, still in action, still and sure. There is no power in panic. There is no progress in haste, but the man who moves with poise carries with him a silent authority. People trust him. People listen. People follow. The truth is, this life will not always be kind. There will be moments when all seems to crumble, when the path ahead is dark, when voices of doubt surround you like wolves in the night. It is then that poise becomes your weapon. It is then that your calm becomes your strength. It is then that others will see in you the mark of a leader. And perhaps more importantly, you will begin to see it in yourself. To possess poise is to possess the ability to respond without being shaken, to speak without being provoked, to think clearly when confusion reigns. It is to carry within your chest a stillness so powerful that it drowns out the noise of the world. This power does not come by accident. It is built. It is forged in moments of discomfort. When you choose not to react, when you choose to breathe, when you choose to remember that no force outside of you has permission to disturb the kingdom inside of you. And so, I tell you, begin now. When the small annoyances come, treat them as training. When anger rises in your chest, see it as your classroom. Choose poise. Choose mastery. Choose to be the one who does not move while all else is shaken. Because in this world, power does not always come with noise. Often, the greatest power is silent. It is still. It is composed. And when you learn to carry yourself with that calm, that certainty, that unwavering dignity, the world will not ask if you are powerful. It will know. There is a secret that every great achiever must learn, and most never do. The noise of the world is a test you must refuse to take. The opinions of others, the whispers of the envious, the shouts of the ignorant, these are not signals to follow. They are distractions meant to break your rhythm, distort your vision, and poison your belief. They come from those who have not walked the road you're walking, who do not carry your dream, who do not burn with the fire you carry in your heart. And yet, if you allow them, their voices can become louder than your own. You must not let that happen. The man who achieves, the woman who rises, learns early that silence is more powerful than defense. You do not owe your critics a reply. You do not owe your doubters a justification. You owe your dream your focus, undiluted, unwavering, and uninterrupted by noise. Let others talk while you build. Let them mock while you prepare. Let them doubt while you move forward with quiet certainty. There is nothing more unsettling to small minds than a person who refuses to engage in their noise, who moves like they already know how the story ends, because they do. You see, every master of destiny reaches a crossroads. One path leads to approval, applause, and the comfort of blending in. The other leads to greatness, solitude, and the sting of being misunderstood. If you choose greatness, you must become immune to distraction. You must guard your mind like a fortress. Every word spoken against you is a test. Will you react? Will you break focus? Or will you keep building while the world barks from the sidelines? Do not argue. Do not explain. Do not waste your sacred energy responding to noise that was never meant to build you. Use that energy to build yourself. Every second spent in doubt is a second stolen from your destiny. Every moment spent replying to critics is a moment robbed from your progress. Let this truth settle in your spirit. Those who talk rarely do, and those who do rarely talk. Doors move in silence. Builders do not pause to argue with those who've built nothing. The eagle does not concern itself with the chatter of crows. It flies higher. And you must too. The world will test you with sarcasm, with laughter, with silence, with rejection. It will shout its disbelief at you, hoping you'll echo it back in self-doubt. But the victorious man learns to hear it all and keep walking. The victorious woman hears the world's doubt and answers it not with her lips, but with her results. So train yourself now. When the world gets loud, go quiet. When others gossip, speak vision. When they insult you, produce excellence. Make your success the reply they cannot ignore and cannot deny. Say nothing and achieve everything, for it is not your job to silence the noise. It is your job to outgrow it. And once you have, you'll find a strange silence, not in the world, but in your mind. You will no longer seek applause. You will no longer fear criticism. You will be free. Free to think, to act, to pursue, to create, because in the end, the only voice that matters is the one that says, keep going. And if you listen only to that voice, there is no limit to where you can go. There is a grave misunderstanding that destroys the progress of many. They believe strength is the absence of emotion. They think power is the rejection of feeling. They are wrong. True power does not come from killing emotion. It comes from mastering it. The man who suppresses his emotions will one day explode. The woman who buries her feelings will eventually break. But the one who masters emotion, who channels it, who directs it with intent and purpose, becomes a force too great to be moved by failure or fear. You see, emotion is energy, it is fire. And fire, uncontrolled, will burn your house to the ground. But fire, when mastered, can light cities, fuel engines, forge steel. It is not the fire that is dangerous. It is the ignorance of how to handle it. Anger, when left unchecked, becomes destruction. But anger, when mastered, becomes drive. Fear, when uncontrolled, becomes paralysis. But fear, when directed, becomes precision. Sadness, when ignored, becomes weakness. But sadness, when embraced and understood, becomes depth, empathy, and perspective. The average person is tossed around by emotion like a leaf in the wind. When things go well, they feel good. When things go wrong, they collapse. Their state depends entirely on the weather of life. But the individual who succeeds is not a victim of emotional storms. He is the captain of his ship. She is the general of her mind. They feel everything, but choose what to do with it. Let me tell you this, you are not weak because you feel fear. You are not unworthy because you feel doubt. These emotions are messengers. They are signals. They are opportunities in disguise. The key is not to run from them. The key is to listen, learn, and then lead them. When you feel fear, ask yourself, what must I do despite this feeling? When you feel anger, ask, what action will bring me closer to my goal, not just temporary satisfaction? When you feel tired, ask, is this real exhaustion or resistance pretending to be fatigue? Mastery is in the questions you ask and the control you claim over your own energy. Those who reach greatness are not cold or emotionless. On the contrary, they are often more emotionally intense than others. But they do not let their feelings rule them. They stand in the fire and forge something with it. Their tears become ink. Their rage becomes momentum. Their fear becomes focus. You must do the same. Do not waste your strength pretending you are unaffected. Instead, become so strong that you can feel everything and still choose to rise. Become so aware of your own mind that nothing surprises you and nothing manipulates you. This takes practice. It takes patience, but the rewards are beyond description. Imagine living your life not in reaction, but in intention. Imagine facing criticism and feeling calm, facing temptation and feeling clarity, facing failure and feeling unshaken. That is not a fantasy. That is mastery. And it is available to anyone willing to do the work of self-awareness and inner discipline. Your emotions are powerful, but you are more powerful still. They are your horses, wild and strong, but you are the rider. If you do not hold the reins, they will drag you. But if you train them, if you guide them, they will take you farther than you've ever dreamed. So feel it all, and then decide what to do with it. That is the mark of the one who will win. Confidence is not a gift. It is not inherited like the color of your eyes, nor is it bestowed by luck or the approval of others. Confidence is earned, and it is earned by action, by repetition, by decision, again and again and again. You do not wait for confidence to begin. You begin, and confidence shows up because you dared to act without it. The man who waits to feel ready will wait forever. The woman who waits to feel worthy will die with her dreams unfulfilled. But the one who moves forward despite the trembling knees, the dry mouth, the chattering thoughts, that one plants the seeds of unshakable belief, and over time, with every bold step taken, those seeds bloom into confidence so real, so solid, it begins to move mountains. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not noise. It is not for show. Confidence is certainty born through self-trust, and self-trust is born through action repeated with intention. You brush your teeth daily. You drink water daily. You eat without needing to debate whether it's right. Why? Because it has become automatic, a habit, a rhythm. Confidence is the same. When you act courageously over and over, even in small ways, your mind begins to say, this is who I am. The fearful thought loses power. The hesitation grows quiet. The old identity of doubt begins to crumble. And in its place, a new self-image forms, one of the builder, the door, the finisher. The mistake most people make is believing that confidence comes before risk. No. Confidence comes after the risk has been taken, after the fire has been walked through, after the challenge has been met, even if met with trembling hands. If you fail and yet return again, you have gained something more valuable than success. You have proven to yourself that you are not breakable, and that truth, once felt, never leaves. Look around you. The most confident people you know are not always the smartest, not always the most talented, but they are the most conditioned. They have practiced courage until it became a rhythm. They have acted boldly so many times that it became their native language. You must do the same. Confidence is not one decision. It is thousands of decisions stacked over time. It is the result of doing hard things on purpose, consistently. Each time you show up, each time you speak when you'd rather be silent, each time you take the leap while fear screams at you. You are building something permanent. It may not feel like it in the moment. You may feel small, exposed, vulnerable. But trust this, your nervous steps today are bricks laid for a fortress that tomorrow's storms cannot shake. Confidence is not for the chosen few. It is for the persistent few, the ones who decide every day to show up even when it's uncomfortable, the ones who train themselves to act strong until strength is no longer an act, but the truth. And if you make that decision, not once, but daily, there will come a time when people ask, "How are you so confident?" And you will smile, not because you have a secret, but because you know there is no secret. Only habit, only repetition, only daily courage layered over time until one day you no longer pretend, you simply are. Your thoughts are seeds. Your emotions are the water. But it is your actions that bring the harvest. There is a law in this universe as real as gravity, as constant as the sunrise. You become what you repeatedly do. Not what you intend, not what you hope for, not what you wish while lying awake at night. It is the act, the movement, the step that carves reality out of the invisible. You must understand the power of acting as if. It is one of the most misunderstood forces in the world. Most believe they must wait until they feel like the person they want to be before behaving like that person. And so they wait. Days, months, years, until confidence arrives. Until they feel ready. But readiness never comes to those who sit. Readiness grows in those who move. The secret is simple, and it is eternal. Act as if you already are what you intend to become. Move like the man who is already successful. Speak like the woman who already commands the room. Think, walk, decide, and carry yourself with the posture of one who knows where they are going. Even if your hands are still empty and your heart still uncertain. The body teaches the mind. The act shapes the belief. If you walk with your shoulders back and your head high long enough, you will begin to feel like someone worthy of standing tall. If you make bold decisions long enough, you will begin to believe you are bold. Action creates the emotion. Action creates the identity. The world, too, begins to respond, for people believe what you show them, not what you say. If you behave like a leader, they will treat you like one. If you behave like a person of value, they will begin to see you that way. And more importantly, you will begin to see yourself that way. Do not misunderstand me. This is not about faking it. This is about training your reality. The actor on stage may begin by playing a role, but do it long enough, and the role becomes second nature. You begin to absorb the character. So too with life. If you act brave long enough, fear loses its grip. If you act disciplined long enough, laziness starves. You become what you enact. There will be resistance. The old voice will whisper, "This isn't you. You're not this confident. You're not this focused." Ignore it. That voice belongs to the old version of yourself, the one you're leaving behind. Keep walking. Keep speaking. Keep standing in the new behavior. Every time you do, a brick is laid. Brick by brick, act by act, you are building a structure far more real than any doubt in your mind. You are proving to your subconscious who you really are. This is why so many remain trapped, because they believe they must wait to feel worthy before acting. But worth is not a feeling. It is a result of disciplined, consistent behavior. Action first, belief second. Act strong and strength will come. Act focused and clarity will rise. Act successful and opportunity will follow. You are not pretending. You are becoming. And the day will come, if you are relentless, when you will no longer need to act as if, because you will be, not by luck, not by accident, but because you acted yourself into it. That is how reality is written, not in thoughts alone, not in words alone, but in the silent, repeated acts of faith in yourself. There is a kind of strength that goes unnoticed in the noise of the world. It does not shout. It does not demand. It does not seek attention. But it governs silently, moves decisively, and rises steadily when others fall. That strength is emotional control. The man who rules his emotions rules his destiny. Most people are tossed about like leaves in a storm. Their inner state depends on what the world throws at them. A bad morning ruins the day. A harsh word ruins their confidence. A failed attempt destroys their will. They live in reaction. They are owned by their environment. And so their results remain at the mercy of whatever comes next. But the one who climbs, the one who breaks through, is the one who stands tall even when the storm howls, the ground shakes, and the path disappears under their feet. This individual has made one of the greatest decisions a human can make to remain unshaken. Make no mistake, this is not about being cold or emotionless. No, this is about being centered. It is about being grounded so deeply in your purpose that no surface disturbance can break your focus. You feel everything, but you choose your response. You hear the noise, but your mind stays tuned to the signal. You may fall, but you rise without bitterness or drama. That kind of strength cannot be bought. It must be built. And it is built every time you refuse to give in to panic, every time you catch yourself before reacting in anger, every time you show restraint when chaos calls you to rage, every time you move forward while your heart pounds with fear. This is what separates the average from the exceptional. There will always be pressure. There will always be critics. There will always be uncertainty, lost temptation, and delay. Life will always test the strength of your inner foundation. And when it does, only those who have cultivated inner calm will stand. Success is not given to the one who avoids hardship. It is given to the one who remains emotionally stable through it. Why? Because success requires decision after decision. It requires clarity. It requires trust in yourself when no one else believes. And you cannot make powerful decisions when you are driven by emotional chaos. You cannot build anything that lasts if your foundation trembles at every gust of wind. The business fails. The investor pulls out. The partner leaves. The customer complains. The world changes. These things happen. But the one who wins is not the one who avoids all risk. It is the one who walks through it with steady hands, clear eyes, and a quiet heart that says, "I will not be moved." This mindset can be trained. You must start small. Breathe instead of reacting. Pause instead of panicking. Think instead of speaking. And when the big waves come, you will already know how to stand. This is not theory. This is survival. And beyond survival, this is dominion. Dominion over self. And once you have that, the world is yours. Because the man who is emotionally unshaken cannot be manipulated. He cannot be provoked. He cannot be broken. And therefore, he cannot be stopped. In the end, success bows only to those who do not bow to chaos. Stand firm, stay clear, be unshaken. And success will have no choice but to come to you.